Kuzuzampo, you are watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Pupkem. Our top stories this week. Her Majesty the Gyaltsen graces opening of Sustainable Finance for Tiger Landscapes Conference. Doju Debe confers Tar to new Tashiansi Lamnete and other appointees. And 180 trainers trained for Gyaltsen Bhutan's National Service. Her Majesty the Gyaltsen graced the opening of the Sustainable Finance for Tiger Landscapes Conference, a globally significant summit co-organized by the Royal Government of Bhutan and the Tiger Conservation Coalition at the Dunkazong in Pambisa of Paro on Monday.
In the inaugural address, Her Majesty, under whose patronage the conference has been organized, highlighted the critical importance of protecting tigers and tiger landscapes for the well-being of our planet and thanked all the people whose efforts have enabled tiger populations to increase in Bhutan and other tiger range countries, while reiterating the vital need for sustainable funding to support the work of conservationists. The conference venue also hosted an informational display of the Gyalifu Mindfulness City project and an exhibition of tiger artworks by local artists put together by Vast Bhutan. The two-day conference brings together tiger range countries, private and public sector donors, thought leaders, international development agencies, and conservation NGOs to foster dialogue, collaboration, and innovative solutions for the conservation of tigers and tiger habitats. It will have expert panels leading insightful discussions on sustainable finance, linkages with the United Nations Global Biodiversity Framework, and the role of public-private partnerships in safeguarding tiger landscapes. The conference will culminate with a commitment from all partners to mobilize $1 billion in new funding over 10 years for the preservation of tiger landscapes, which are vital to maintaining biodiversity, sequestering carbon, supplying resources to over 100 million people, and ensuring the overall health of the planet. Prime Minister Tsering Tobgay, His Royal Highness Tengku Hassanal Ibrahim Alam Shah, Crown Prince of Pahang, Malaysia, Carter Roberts, President and CEO of WWF US, and Carlos Manuel Rodriguez, CEO of Global Environment Facility, were among the speakers at the opening session of the conference. The Tiger Conservation Coalition is a diverse group of organizations formed ahead of the 2022 Year of the Tiger, which includes the Environmental Investigation Agency, Fauna and Flora International, International Union for Conservation of Nature, Natural State, Panthera, Traffic, United Nations Development Programme, the World Wild Fund for Nature, and the Zoological Society of London. Bhutan is one of 13 tiger range countries in the world and home to 131 tigers, a 27% increase since the last survey in 2015. Bhutan has also recorded the highest altitude in the world at which tigers have been found, at over 4,000 meters. Snampem for BBS News.
Her Majesty Queen Mother Doji Wangchuk graced a reception on 28 April to mark the occasion of Bangladesh's independence and National Day. Members of the royal family, the Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, senior Bhutanese government officials and diplomats were also present. The Bangladesh Embassy in Thimphu organized the event.
Her Majesty Queen Mother Doji Wangchuk, Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh and Bangladesh Ambassador to Bhutan, addressed the gathering on the strong diplomatic relationship between Bhutan and Bangladesh. As a gesture of goodwill, the Bangladeshi ambassador presented Her Majesty the Queen Mother with the Bangladesh-Bhutan Friendship Crest. As a symbol of cultural exchange between the two countries, artists from the Traditional Performing Arts and Music Division, formerly known as the Royal Academy of Performing Arts, presented Bangladeshi and Bhutanese songs and dances, adding a festive touch to the evening. The event concluded with a dinner. Bangladesh celebrates its independence and National Day on 26th March every year. This is Tikil Hazom for BBS News.
Coinciding with the International Olympic Day, the Bhutan Olympic Committee launched the Sports Science Initiative in Phinsaling. The initiative will be piloted in Phinsaling Thomde and will then be taken to other districts in the future. It is to nurture a strong sporting culture in the country and develop future athletes. His Royal Highness Prince Jigel Wangchuk graced the event.
The sports science team is collecting data of the youths like information on body type, fitness level, genetic factors, dietary habits and their involvement in sports activities. This is aimed towards providing personalized recommendations for each student, guiding them towards sports they are naturally suited for, thereby improving their health and potential for athletic excellence.
I,
along with a few friends from Sports Science Initiative, came here to Phinsaling 1 week prior to the Olympic Day and collected students' data on fitness, health and sports. We then identify their capability and recommend what is best for them.
We've tried
to incorporate into their training regimen so that it will help the coaches plan their training schedule better for the athletes, teach them to eat better, use food as fuel, and maybe also take care of themselves so that they do not get injured.
Sports science is a milestone project considering its potential to positively impact youth across the nation. The project will assess the level of fitness among all Bhutanese youth in schools, and accordingly, recommendations and strategic interventions will be made. Officials said this would help develop clear and focused pathways for talent identification and development, which will lead to a vibrant sporting culture. It is also expected to develop talents from a young age. More than 1,000 students from schools in Phinsaling Thomde took part in the celebration. For Kilidem in Phinsaling, this is Sonamudan for BBS News.
The Dojilebe of the Central Monastic Body conferred Da to the newly appointed Lamnete, Sungkhop and Vice Principal of various religious centers. They were conferred Da at the Punakazong on Monday.
"46-year-old Lamtsiri Doji from Nisho Geok in Wandipodra is the new Lamnete of Tashiansi Rabde. He was enrolled in monastic school at the age of 12 and graduated from the Tango University of Buddhist Studies. Prior to his present post, he served as a lam at Donkola Haga in Paro and as a deputy secretary of examination in the Shun Ratha. He underwent his 3-year retreat at Pegiri Drupde in Thimphu. Tashiwanchu from Bab Geok in Punakha is the new Sungkhop of His Majesty the King at Kalimpong in India. The 44-year-old became a monk at the age of 10. He completed his 6-year retreat. Prior to his present post, he underwent a retreat at Honso Gemba in Thimphu. He also served as a teacher in Shun Bude and mask dance instructor. and Gembo Doji from Phayugeok in Wandepoda is the new Sungkhop of Royal Bhutan Army Wing 9 in Gelepu. He was enrolled in monastic school at the age of 8. He completed his studies from the Tango University of Buddhist Studies. He underwent his 3-year retreat at the Tango Songkha. Prior to his present post, the 36-year-old served as a teacher at the Tango Institute for Advanced Vajrayana Studies. Similarly, Sonam Doji from Nishogeok in Wandepoda is the new vice principal of Gelpojing Kinpen Yersel Cheling Monastic School in Mongar. The 33-year-old became a monk at the age of 14. He graduated from Dorden Tashithang Buddhist University in Thimphu. He underwent his 3-year retreat at Nalendra and Cheri Drupde in Thimphu. For Changa Doji in Punakha, Kinzanghaden, PBS News.
Bhutan signed an agreement with the European Investment Bank EIB on Thursday for a loan of 150 million euros. This marks the first ever EIB project on supporting reliable green energy for communities in Bhutan. The amount will be used to support the development of solar, photovoltaic and hydropower plants in Bhutan.
The agreement was signed by Finance Secretary Lee Kyung-mo and Acting EIB Global Managing Director Marcus Bernd in the presence of Nadia Calvino, the EIB President in the United States. According to a press release from the Ministry of Finance, the amount will be used in constructing small to medium-sized run-of-the-river hydropower plants and solar photovoltaic installations, which in turn is expected to diversify Bhutan's renewable energy generation. According to the press release, the President of the European Investment Bank talked about the dynamic importance of such agreements. She said that bringing green, reliable and affordable energy to communities around the world, especially in more remote regions, has huge benefits not just in environmental terms, but also by improving access to health, education and economic activity. Meanwhile, the press release says that Finance Minister Leki Doji highlighted the importance of the agreement for Bhutan in maintaining its carbon neutrality. He said that as Bhutan strives to maintain its carbon negative status amidst rising global challenges, this partnership not only strengthens Bhutan's renewable energy sector, but also contributes to the broader regional and global efforts in combating climate change. According to PV Magazine, a global solar and storage media platform, the loan with the tenure of 30 years will support the generation of around 310 megawatts of new renewable energy to help remote regions in Bhutan. According to the magazine, True Green Power Corporation will be tasked with the implementation of the new projects. Karmasam Tanwangda, PBS News.
The United Nations in Bhutan has committed almost $40 million to the government for this year. The UN will work on 4 key areas of social service, economy, environment and governance, which aligns with the country's 13th five-year plan. According to the United Nations Annual Results Report for Bhutan, which was released recently, the UN's development assistance amounted to a little over $35 million last year.
According to a news release from the country office, the office will facilitate Bhutan's transition from least developed country status, advance the implementation of Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and offer tailored assistance for effectively managing the LDC graduation process. The news release further states that the UN will support the government to achieve shared developmental goals and priorities. In 2023, the UN's support centered on enhancing data management and governance for inclusive development with the establishment of the Bhutan Statistical Database System. The platform facilitates evidence-based decision-making and enhances disaster preparedness and emergency coordination. According to the news release, the UN-supported initiatives aimed at ensuring equitable access to quality social services for the vulnerable population, addressing areas such as child protection, education, health, and nutrition.
In a context marked by dramatic shifts and emerging challenges, our collaboration has been guided by a shared commitment to leave no one behind and build a more resilient, inclusive, and sustainable future for all Bhutanese. Our support has been anchored in aligning our initiatives with the national priorities and development frameworks of Bhutan, including the 12th Five-Year Plan and the United Nations Sustainable Development Partnership Framework.
According to the report, the UN's Football for the Goals initiative in 2023 touched thousands of lives, which drove positive social change and significantly contributed in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Similarly, frontline and emergency workers were also trained on emergency preparedness and response last year. Bhutan became the 120th member to the United Nations in 1971. This is Tashidekar for BBS News.
After almost 5 years of construction, the new Takti Bridge along the Thimphu-Phinsaling Highway was inaugurated on Wednesday. The bridge has a carrying capacity of 70 metric tons. The Infrastructure and Transport Minister Chandra Bahadur Gurung and the Indian Ambassador to Bhutan Sudhakar Dalela inaugurated it.
Project Dantak constructed the new 100-meter cantilever bridge. It was constructed after spending approximately 200 million etam. The new bridge is expected to significantly improve the flow of traffic, allowing for smoother and safer journeys for commuters. On an average, 3,000 vehicles travel between Thimphu and Phinsaling every day. According to Project Dantak, the bridge has successfully passed all quality control checks, adhering to the highest standards of construction and engineering. The bridge, which is situated away from the Takti stream and comparatively taller, was constructed after carrying out a study.
During monsoons, when the Takti Nala was in spate, the boulders and the muck would come on the bridge and disrupt the traffic. So we carried out a study of the catchment area which is further upstream of the Takti Nala, and then it came out that the bridge has to be made little away from the stream and at a particular height.
He added that it also signifies the vibrant Indo-Bhutan friendship in infrastructure's development. With the new bridge now open to traffic, commuters said they feel safer while crossing the stream.
The bridge opened today and we are happy about it. It is good news and it will be beneficial for all of us. Hereafter, it will be convenient for us to commute as well.
Previously, the water would overflow the bridge and would often get blocked, especially during summer. So with the opening of the new bridge today, I'm hopeful that such inconveniences get resolved.
The construction, which commenced in 2019, was due for completion in 2021, was halted for 2 years due to the pandemic. According to Project Dantak, constructing the two abutments due to the height of the river, mountainous terrain, and transportation of materials during the pandemic were the main challenges faced during the construction. The actual construction of the bridge was completed in November last year, but it was not opened to traffic to carry out load tests and ensure quality control. This is Tashidekar for BBS News.
As the nation prepares for the much-awaited Gyaltsung Bhutan's National Service, about 180 trainers were trained at the National Search and Rescue Training Center in Tashigatsal of Chukha. The Chief of Police attended the closing ceremony of the Gyaltsung Community Security Skilling Training of the Trainers program last week.
The Gyaltsung training program comprises of components that seeks to impart knowledge and leadership skills. The training will have basic military training and many other skills development programs. With the commencement of the program nearing, preparations are in full swing. 7 police officers and 100 police personnel completed the instructors' training of Gyaltsung Search and Rescue. Another 5 officers and about 70 police personnel got trained as Gyaltsung structural firefighting instructors.
Gyaltsung Community Security Skilling.
There is a component in Gyaltsung called the Gyaltsung Community Skilling. Search and rescue and firefighting falls under this component. More than these two, the instructors need instructional practices because we cannot teach the children like the armed forces. We also focus on ILQ, which means instructor-like quality. In this, code of conduct and communication skills among others are taught.
Code of conduct,
Instructor Disulu te jawe matutu be chindi ta nale phata te.
We have trained the trainers well. Now they are ever ready to start teaching. There are many things to learn in firefighting, like how to extinguish the flames when the flames are small and how to handle LPG cylinders. We also taught them how fire brigades are used.
The training for the instructors of search and rescue was for 45 days. And for the Gelsung structural firefighting instructors, it was a 30-day training program.
I'm blessed to have got this training opportunity. I hope that I can teach the Gelsubs well from all the knowledge I got from here.
Search and rescue
The training of search and rescue is something that will benefit us for a lifetime. From here on, we can do any kind of search and rescue at any time.
Meanwhile, the chief of police said that all commandants of all the 4 Gelsung academies have been identified along with officials from Royal Bhutan Army, Royal Bodyguards and the Royal Bhutan Police. For Kiledim in Chuka, this is Kipchu for BBS News.
Child sexual violence is on the rise in the capital. The number of reported cases have been consistently increasing. Since 2021, more than 130 such cases have been recorded with the National Referral Hospital. And this year already saw 15 cases related to child sexual violence from January to March.
Child sexual violence is a type of child abuse including physical violence, emotional violence, neglect and exploitation. The One-Stop Crisis Center for Victims of Violence and Abuse at the National Referral Hospital, which provides an easy-to-access and private space for medical treatment and forensic investigation, saw increasing number of cases over the years. In 2021, the department recorded 39 cases of child sexual violence. The number of reported cases slightly increased to 40 in 2022. And last year, a significant increase was seen with 53 cases reported. This year, already 15 cases have been reported in just the first 3 months.
As per the research done by the UNICEF nationwide, they have said, their finding says that every 6 out of 10 child has experienced any form of physical violence, and then 12% of children has experienced sexual violence. That is the nationwide data. But in our case, where we have the One-Stop Crisis Center, we only manage the cases where the patients are in Thimphu region, and then we do get cases which are referred from districts.
The center has received cases where children as young as 5 years old up to 18 years old were brought for medical examination. Most of the victims are female students.
If you look at the international literature, what they say is usually the perpetrator is somebody who is known to a child. So even in our case, usually it is somebody within the family or neighbor. It's not a published data, but we do see the rise in sexual violence when there is winter break, when the children are not engaged in various activities.
According to the center, children arrive with injuries that vary in age, some are healing and others are fresh or healed, suggesting ongoing abuse.
The sexual violence is a very sensitive issue which most of the parents might hesitate to come forward. What we would like to say to the public is if you see any of these cues and findings, then I think parents should come forward and then have examined. We have 24-hour service in One-Stop Crisis Center.
To address the rising number of cases, the National Referral Hospital is planning to expand the services of the One-Stop Crisis Center in regional hospitals. It also intends to identify forensic focal persons in all districts to train in handling cases of child abuse and sexual violence. For Sonam Pelki, this is Tikil Hazum for BBS News.
That's all we have for this week. Thank you for joining us.